few weeks back, I put out an update to the Worship Guitar preset bundle that's on my website. If you head to that page, it's towards the bottom. So anyone who had purchased it in the past, you would have gotten the email by now. You should have the updates to download in that email. I don't charge for updates at all. But basically what I want to do in this video is just go through the folder system. I really restructured everything. I have different versions of the preset depending on what type of guitar you use and whether or not you need a tap tempo, a fixed delay, you use an expression pedal or not, you prefer like an Autoswell. There's a lot of different versions of the same core preset. That's how I usually run in this genre. I have the one preset and I make small variations depending on the needs of the specific song that I'm playing. So let's take a look at HX Edit and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first things first, I just want to start out and kind of go through the preset bundle, describe how the folders are laid out, how you would actually make use of all the stuff that's in here. I will say there's going to be timestamps in the description and also in the time bar down below. If you just want to skip around, there will be playing samples of the Filtertron equipped guitar, single coils for a Tele or a Strat, and then also the Humbucker guitar. So let's start here by looking at some of these presets. First thing you do when you open up the bundle here is we have a couple things to pick from. The old presets, if you for some reason would prefer those, are here as well with the original PDF that was included. If not, this is where you're going to want to exist. So we have the introduction, which goes into great detail. Sorry, you're looking at a video feedback loop right now. This just kind of, in summary, goes over everything that I'm going to talk about in this video. How all the foot switches are laid out. We have overdrive. I'll get into more detail on this in a second. Overdrive tape delay. In the tap tempo presets, this toggles the subdivision. In the fixed delay presets, it'll go between a light all-purpose delay and a more present 4-on-3 polyrhythm delay, which works great for this genre. Foot switch 4 is a Strymon cloud emulation. Foot switch 5 could engage an Autoswell or on the plus on the volume pedal presets. It's a secondary discrete delay. Foot switch 6 is a 3.5 decibel boost. Foot switch 7 toggles parameters in the plate reverb. And foot switch 8 toggles between a clear and slightly more modulated cloud reverb settings. These presets are designed on the HX Stomp. They're designed with HX Stomp users in mind. So the core of the preset exists on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For anyone that's using the Stomp XL or one of the larger Helix units, we also have smaller, slightly unnecessary foot switch assignments on 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, these presets are essentially just designed for the person that's going completely direct with their Stomp. They show up to church on a Sunday morning with the guitar and the Stomp. That's all you're going to need, basically, and obviously the power supply and a cable. So keep going in the bundle in the PDF here. How are the presets organized? This talks about the prefix and the suffix, which I'll go into more detail again. And here's a couple screenshots of alternate cabinet settings that I like. They all come with the SM57 settings you see here. This is a much brighter version if you're in a huge band and you want to stick out a little bit more. Use a 414 mic model. Here are some settings I like. And then if you want to go with a slightly warmer sound, here's a model with the 121 ribbon mic. And then just in general, I include this with all my presets. Just some advice I have on how you would set up your unit, how you might prefer to set it up for use as your entire rig. So yeah, let's go back to the preset bundle if I can find the Finder page. Look at this. I got a Mac Studio over the summer, and I have so many tabs open. This is great. Okay. Cool. So that's how the folder is laid out. Let's take a listen to the presets. I'm using a Filtertron equipped guitar, so that's what I selected here, and a tap delay with an external volume. That's the preset that I use the most out of this pack. Yeah. And this is just the stock sound with no foot switches engaged. So the stock setting has a fair amount of distortion dialed in, but the nice thing about this, I only wanted one gain stage, one switch to go between various sounds. So this is the stock sound, a little crunchy, but of course it reacts if you pull down your volume knob a little bit, maybe go to the neck pickup. get a cleaner sound out of it that way. Cool. So on foot switch 1, this is our gain stage. You'll notice actually in the preset, we have an always-on Klon monitor model and an AC30. With foot switch 1, I'm actually changing parameters to get a more overdriven sound. I just really like the sound of a stacked, distorting amp with an overdrive into the front of it. And so instead of assigning a simple pedal bypass to achieve 2 different gain stages, I've actually kept everything on, the overdrive and the amp block, they both stay on, and I'm just changing some parameters in the pedal as well as in the amp block. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of noodling here. Yeah, so foot switch 1 is that overdrive toggle. So you have your clean sound, you can roll off the volume if you need a little bit less gain, and you have the kind of lead guitar tone there. Foot switch 2 is going to be your primary delay. So this in the tap tempo presets, this is for tap tempo. Foot switch 3 controls the subdivision. So with it bypassed, this is going to be a quarter note subdivision, in essence, no subdivision. And truthfully, that's what I use most of the time. I just use the tap tempo button. Like if I need a dotted eighth, here's that's where the dotted eighth note would be. And all of a sudden, I have a dotted eighth delay using a quarter note subdivision. But for the people that don't want to do that, that's why I have foot switch 3 here set up with the subdivision. So this is going to be it's going to switch to dotted eighth. So the tape delay is just a very present delay. You can see how high it is here in the mix. And I just use a simple parameter adjustment to change the note sync subdivision. Cool. So let's continue here. On foot switch 4, we have the Strymon cloud sound. Works great for volume swells too. And if I had the stomp on the ground, I'd just be using the volume pedal for it. But yeah, there's the Strymon sound. In these presets, we also have a delay here that we can access, just like a kind of secondary bass level delay, just kind of floats there in the background. Yeah, and then to get in, again, to the other foot switches, we have a solo boost, 3.5 decibels, if you have a foot switch 6. If not, you're really not missing much. Foot switch 7 changes the plate reverb sound. And here's the actual changes in HX edit. You can see what's going back and forth. Couple parameters, decay, pre-delay, high cut also to give it a warmer sound. And then, yeah, there's also a foot switch 8, but again, not necessary to the preset at all. So let's switch to a Strat, and I'll give you a quick sound demo of that. And so I'm still on the Filtertron preset right now, and listen to how much of a difference it makes when you actually design a preset for a specific type of output. Basically, all the wet effects are the same. Nothing much has changed there. But what I do to tune a preset for a different type of guitar is usually I affect the compression settings, the overdrive, and definitely the amp in the cabinet. So there's a different EQ in the amp, a little bit more overdrive, and also a little bit more overdrive in the always-on clon, just to make sure that we're getting a uniform volume between everything. So for instance, if you're going to church with 2 guitars and you want to swap between them, make sure they're at the same levels. These presets are already preset for you. You don't need to do anything. Just load them in, make any changes using the favorites as needed, and you'll be good. So let's listen to the Strat sound. So here's the stock setting of the preset, no foot switches engaged, you know, the quote, clean sound. And I'm on the bridge pickup. Yeah, again, the wet effects haven't really changed much at all. It's just gain staging that I changed between the different variations for different instruments. So let's check out the humbucking presets. Now I'm going to switch to the PRS, which is a Les Paul type guitar with PAF style pickups, which is another common type of pickup that's used in this genre. So I've got my PRS McCarty here. This is a 2009, and here's what it sounds like on the single coil preset. Nothing wrong with that if that's what you prefer. I always say there's no rules. If it sounds good, just use it. Who cares what guitar was actually designed for? But here's what the preset I designed for a humbucker guitar sounds like. You can see I cut down the impedance just a little bit. There's also a dramatically different EQ in the amp and in the overdrive. I know there's a well-known preset creator that sells presets for this kind of genre. And what they do is they just put a simple gain toggle at the beginning of the preset, assign it to a foot switch, and they say, use it as is for single coils, press it down if you want to cut the gain and use it with humbuckers. I think there's a little bit more that you can put into the preset than that to make it sound better and be more idealized for that specific instrument. It's a little bit more exact if you just use separate presets is what I'm saying. So yeah, here is, again, the quote, clean sound for the humbucker guitar, and then I'm going to hit foot switch 1. To the neck pickup. Switch back to the bridge pickup for a second there. Here's the neck again. Cool. Last thing I want to do is just go over the variations of the preset. So I've been using the tap delay. Let's explore the fixed delay and also the ones where you have an auto swell feature. Yeah, so here's the presets. I'm at fixed delay swell, fixed delay volume, tap delay swell, and tap delay volume. We've been listening to the tap delay presets, so let's just quickly go over the tap delay with the swell. Nothing has changed except foot switch 5, instead of being an all-purpose kind of delay that sits there in the mix and just makes your guitar sound bigger, I've replaced foot switch 5 with an auto swell. So this is what I'll use if, like in the past, before I had an expression, I was just using the stomp as is, and I would use the auto swell in place of a volume to do those swells. Of course, you can just do it with your guitar volume knob, but some people like having an auto swell in this genre, so that's why I included these presets. And that's just done with a simple auto volume echo. It's from the Legacy folder. Cool. Now let's check out the fixed delay presets. So nothing changes until you hit foot switch 2. This is no longer a tap-based delay. This is a fixed delay time that would have no relation to the tempo of the song, theoretically. Preset without the delay. You can hear you can go back and forth between two chords, and it doesn't really get muddy still. Yeah, so in place of the tap subdivision, since we don't have a tap delay anymore, foot switch 3 is now the delay voicing. So this is going to change a few parameters in here, including the mix, lowers it a little bit, raises the feedback, and it also changes the scale. So you get this cool polyrhythmic delay. And if you're wearing headphones or you have studio monitors that you're listening on right now, you might notice it's bouncing left and right, which is cool. So there's the delay, just as it is. Here's the delay, changing the voicing of it. You can hear feedback lasts longer. It's a little bit lower in the mix to make up for that so it doesn't get too muddy. And I've changed the scale, so we have this cool relationship between the left delay and the right delay. Cool. And then lastly, I have a version of the preset for a fixed delay. Look, there's all the parameter changes. So for a fixed delay plus a swell. I've gone over everything at this point, so I don't think I need to go over that preset. So that's the Worship Guitar Preset Bundle. Like I said, it was designed with HX Stomp and HX Stomp XL users in mind. So it's a very full preset. It's going to operate as your entire rig. You can just roll up to church with your guitar and your HX Stomp in your backpack, and that's all you're going to need. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email through my website, or if you had purchased it in the past and you didn't get an email for some reason, you can send me an email through my website as well, alexpricemusician.com/contact. Let me know your order number, and I'll just send you the latest version of it. I never charge for updates, so if there's an update to this preset in the future, you'll get an email when that's ready. Thanks for watching, and of course for all your support over the years. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.